Hey everybody, this is The Great Escape and welcome to another episode here on our Redstone testing world where I build farms and tutorials. And today we're going to be looking at this farm. You might all recognize this as a standard sugarcane farm with our sugarcane growing and our pistons and observers. But I was building this and I realized that, for as much space as we have here, this farm, gives us the sugarcane that we might need, but it seems like it wastes a little bit of space. And so my goal today is to think about ways in which we can combine farms that we know and designs that we love and make them a little bit more space efficient, but also provide us with some increased functionality. So the farm that I decided to turn this into and build looks something like this. Is the farm that we're going to be building today, and this farm will provide you with not only sugarcane, but it will also provide you with melons and or pumpkins. You can decide. And this has been running for about 15 minutes, and so we've already got this amount going here. So it's a very efficient farm. And if you notice the space, so this is our traditional sugarcane farm design with our water here. That this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 block deep farm, and this one here, which also gives us melons and pumpkins, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So for just a couple or 3 more blocks of distance, we're gaining all of this functionality, and we're not actually adding that many more materials. So let's go ahead and get right onto it and start building this farm. So the materials that we're going to need to build this farm are in this chest, and for the sugarcane portion you're going to need building blocks, dirt, 8 pistons, 8 observers. You could save a little bit and maybe do 4 observers or 2. That would lower the efficiency of the farm, but 8 observers. Water buckets and an infinite water source. Sugarcane to plant, you need 8, and a redstone. Now, so that's the typical sugarcane farm design, and those are the resources that you'd need. And obviously a collection area using powered rails so that you get 100% efficiency on the farm. Using just water streams doesn't give you 100% efficiency because some of the sugarcane will break off and go onto the ground, and then it won't get caught up in those water streams. Now, for just 12 sticky pistons, 12 wooden trapdoors, a repeater, some melon and pumpkin seeds, you are adding an extra efficiency and resource that this farm can produce, and you're not actually adding that many more resources because we're going to use the exact same collection method and the water and everything else. So this is all you're adding to that typical sugarcane farm in order to build this farm. So these are the resources that we're going to need. So let's get those in our inventory and let's get to building. All right, so for the sugarcane portion of the farm, we want to start by building it at 1 block off of the ground. Now, you could build this on the ground and then just dig out, but I'm building it above it just so you can see everything. And we want to take this 8 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Now, this is the layer on which the grass or the dirt will be on. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like that. And this is where our sugarcane will actually grow. Now you can, I don't know why I did that. So you can build your sugarcane farm with the water in front, but in order for this design to work and for us to get the maximum efficiency out of it, we're actually going to put the water in the back. So you want to build a little container like this, and you've got a couple choices. You can put a block down here, or you could put trapdoors, and either one will work to hold back the water, and then go ahead and make all of that source blocks. So now we've got our sugarcane able to be planted like so. Now, what this is doing and why we're going to plant melons and pumpkins is we've got our source blocks for our sugarcane, but that source block of water will also water 3 blocks out like this. Okay, and so I'm going to go ahead and lay that dirt down so I know the extent of my farm. But now I've got this tillable soil here where I can plant my melons and pumpkins. All right, now switching around to the redstone at the back, go ahead and put a block over the water like this, and then on top of that block facing inwards where you have sugarcane, go ahead and place a piston. just a regular piston, not sticky. And then on top of the piston on the back, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 observers. And of course, you could cut it down and just do one like this, but that's going to lower your efficiency. You could do 4, 2, whatever. The more observers you have, the more efficient the farm will be. But obviously, if you want to save resources, you can always cut down on observers. Now, on the back of each piston, go ahead and put a block like so, and then put redstone dust like that. And that is your completed system. So if I were to grow my sugarcane up and then boom, notice it's all going to break and it's all going to fall off. All right. So if you want to build just a sugarcane farm, there you go. That's your sugarcane farm, simple and easy to construct. But we want to make this super efficient, and we want to use all the space available and all the resources. So that water was only being used for this sugarcane, so we're going to use it for our melons and pumpkins. So grab yourself a hoe, and you can go ahead and till up all this dirt. And then grab your melon and pumpkin seeds. And again, if you only need melons for food or for golden melons or glistening melons or whatever, you could just do melons. If you only need pumpkins, you could just grow pumpkins. It's completely up to you. But here's kind of how you want to do it. So if I put a pumpkin seed here, it's going to have this area and this area to potentially grow in. So it has 2 potential spots. So I'm going to put a pumpkin seed there, and then a melon seed here. Now this melon seed has 1, 2, 3, 4 potential spots. So whatever you put in this space is going to grow more often. Whatever you put up here is going to grow a little bit less often. So this central area is going to be my melon area, and then these outer areas are going to be pumpkins. Now, you're going to end up with more pumpkins probably in the end, but what that will do is it will give you a good kind of balance. And as we can see, this one's probably been running for about 30 minutes now. So let's see. Yeah, so 38 melon slices and 15 pumpkin slices in about 20 minutes or so. So this is our layout for our pumpkin and melons. Now, you can wait for all of that to grow. And that's fine, or you can go ahead and bone meal it, each one 3 times. All right, so now we've got, and we can already see we're growing our melons and pumpkins already, so I did that. All right, so the next stage is to build the destruction system for the pumpkins. And what we want to do is we're going to come up here 1 block above the observers. So I'm going to put a block here, and then come out like this. And over any place where there is dirt down here, except for the sugarcane, I'm going to put a block like this. And again, as always, it doesn't have to be an iron block. I'm just using this so it's easier to count. Now you've got a kind of a roof over your melon and pumpkin farm here, and on that roof is where we're going to put our sticky pistons. So you can go ahead and grab those, and then anywhere where you do not have a plant, so here's a plant, blank space. Above that we want to put a sticky piston, and they're going to alternate like this. So you've got kind of 2, then 1, 2, then 1, etc. as you go across. And you can see these melons and pumpkins are growing furiously. So on the bottom of each of those sticky pistons, we want to put a wooden trapdoor, like so. Now, the reason we're using sticky pistons, not regular pistons, because you could use regular pistons to break melons and pumpkins, is because we want these trapdoors on the bottom. And that reasoning is, if I were to put these 1 block lower and make them regular pistons, they would break the melons and pumpkins, and you would get a pretty good efficiency in the farm. But occasionally a melon or a pumpkin might get caught in the arm of the piston, go into the piston, and then end up on top of your farm, so it reduces the efficiency. But at this level, the piston extends and the trap door actually breaks the pumpkin, and the drop stays on the bottom like so. All right, so now that's all of our pistons in place, and we need to finish up the final little bit of redstone. So grab your repeater and a little bit more dust. And we're going to put 1 dust here on top of that observer, 1 dust here, a repeater set to 2 ticks, and then, whoops, not repeaters, dust on all of this, like so. And that is the completed redstone mechanism. So now, anytime a sugarcane grows up here, all of those pistons are going to extend, and you're going to get the break. So we're using the sugarcane as our redstone clock for our melon and pumpkin farm. Here we go. All right, so you've got your system there. Now, occasionally I've noticed that with all melon and pumpkin farms, you sometimes get a piston arm that extends and it locks down, and this is due to some weird bud powering, but because you have so many entities around it, anytime one of those entities updates, it'll cause the piston arm to retract, but pretty typically you're going to get a pretty efficient farm, and this one doesn't do that at all, so it's just this weird occasional thing that seems to happen. And I think, let me double check our repeaters here. That one I think is set to 3 ticks, so let's see if that fixed it. No. So occasionally you're going to get this weird bud powering system, and you know that's going to happen, but all it takes is for something to update the piston and it will extend. All right, now that is the completed farm, and as you can see, we're already getting melons and pumpkins popping off, and then all we need is the collection system. So if I come down here to the bottom, it's probably easier to break this out. We'll grab your rails and your powered rails, and then you want to grab a couple redstone blocks, which, oh, I did include, good. All right, I was afraid I didn't include them. And then what you want to do is on these sides, we're going to start by pulling the line this way. So I'm going to put a rail here like so, and then come out like this, and then you can find the middle point, which I think is right here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, these 2 points right here, and that's where I'm going to go ahead and put my collection chest. Is right here, and then you'll put your hoppers here. Now, 2 hoppers should be more than enough, but if you want to put a 3rd and a 4th hopper on either side like this, you of course can, but you just I mean, it's going to use a little bit more resources, and then you want to crouch click as you come across. And then here we want to, yes, here we want a regular rail, and then we're going to put a stone there, or a redstone block there, and then these are all going to be powered rails going across like this to here, right? And then all you want to build from that point forward is kind of a looping system that runs like this. Now you can add some more, another row of powered rails. I would put it here just to make sure you don't run out of juice. It doesn't need to be too many because it's not a super long rail system. And then, whoop, let me give myself an exit. Whoop. And then we want to put the final row of rails here, like this. Looping around and like that. All right, and now the one thing I did, I think, forget to put it in the chest at the beginning is a hopper minecart. So you're going to need a hopper minecart, and you can set that like this, and it's going to go through the whole system. And you notice it slows down a little bit as it goes over these, and that's just to make sure that it does have time to drop off any of the items that it does pick up. Now that's the basic design there, and you can feel free to decorate it as you like. Over here you can see I kind of blocked off these sides, put some sea lanterns in. Lighting this up will be important, so you want some light up here so that mobs aren't going to spawn on, well, I think there's only a few blocks that it's actually spawnable on. And then some light down here just to give your farm a little bit more light, just to make sure that those melons and pumpkins have enough light to grow in. So you could put pumpkins down here, or jack-o'-lanterns, sea lanterns. You could put a few torches in here as well, you know, up on this edge of these things if you want to use torches. But that is the completed design right there. And so this is going to give you your melons, your pumpkins, and your sugarcane. And you know, it's not going to provide enough to feed an entire server, but it should be enough over time if it's running in the background of your farm to give you all that you might need. And it's of course also extendable. You can take it out 16 blocks and then just extend this. You can do anything else. And I'm working on a design that looks something like this, where you've got a square of sugarcane with a melon farm in the middle and even some cactus up on the top, but it's not a perfect design yet, which is why we're not going to play around with that today. But what I want to challenge you all with is this. Come up with a way to combine a few farms into farms. You know, I'm playing around with some cactus farms and sugarcane farms, some melon, cactus, and sugarcane farms, even some, you know, obviously we got wheat, carrot, and all those things. Find cool ways to put them all together. Make a video or take a screenshot of what you've built and send it to me on Twitter, or link it to me on YouTube. And I'd love to see some of those designs, and I might try to build some of them as well on this world and share what you guys come up with the rest of the world. But thank you so much for joining me today. This has been The Great Escape. If you enjoyed this or you learned something, drop a like, leave a subscribe if you want to see more content, and I will see you next time.